All right, welcome everybody. If you are new and you're just recently with us, my name is Brittany Hayes. I'm your Ambassador Diamond Upline. And we have on here as well, Triple Diamond Leader Amanda Stein. And we are so excited to talk to you guys tonight about just how to set your customers up for success. Not just with getting them started on the right products, which we've talked about a lot in different trainings, but specifically Amanda did a really concentrated training on this that's on her YouTube. So I encourage you, if you have not seen that, make sure to go to her YouTube and watch that, because that is perfect as far as like how to know what to recommend. But what this Zoom is going to be about is you already know how to recommend which products to your customers based on their lifestyle, their goals, their needs, etc. But what we're going to talk about tonight is how to also get them set up best for success by, giving them advice as far as what their routine should look like. We know simplicity is what, where people win. I can't remember who said it, but long-term consistency will always trump short-term intensity. And so that is so true when it comes to like diet and exercise lifestyle. And by diet, I don't mean like dieting. I mean just like your everyday diet. And so we're excited just to share some things with you guys tonight. We're going to share some things that Dr. Carla, who is actually a top leader with ItWorks, but she's also on staff with ItWorks, is like ItWorks doctors. You guys have probably seen her Fit Tip Tuesdays that she does a lot as well on the main ItWorks page. So we're going to share some tips that she has shared with us, as well as just general knowledge that we have, just trying to, the past several years, just really trying to be the best version of ourselves and things we've learned while helping our customers, helping ourselves, etc. So without further ado, I'm going to jump in and let Amanda, or pass it over to Amanda, let her jump in and really, get going with some things that she has researched specifically for you guys to really give you guys like a clear picture, of calories in, calories out, how that works, even healthy choices, like how having too much of certain things can, set you back in your goals. And then Amanda, if you want to introduce yourself real quick too.
Hi guys, my name is Amanda Stein. Like Brittany said, I'm a triple diamond. I've been with the company for 3.5 years. I'm really excited to talk to you guys about this. Everyone probably jokes I'm one of the greener people on the team, so I really like talking about stuff like tonight. I like how it relates to our business, how it relates to family life, having kids, having healthy kids. I like how it relates to, bringing customers in, being healthier ourselves, and how that keeps our business successful, and also having more satisfied customers in general and being able to lead our businesses successfully. So I'm going to dive right into it. And before I do that, I just want to tell you guys, general disclaimer, neither Brittany nor myself are doctors. We are not nutritionists. So this is from some things that we have picked up and tried to educate ourselves to be healthier individuals, healthier moms, just trying to lead healthier lifestyles. So like I said, neither of us are professionals, but we're hoping to share some of our wisdom with you guys. And I hope that it's helpful for you guys. But definitely neither of us are professionals in these specific fields, but I hope it's helpful for you guys. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is specifically about metabolism and about how that process of our bodies affects how we gain and how we lose weight, why that's important for us as humans, and how that relates to our business and in general, like how that relates to our business, how that relates to us as distributors, and when we're having conversations with our customers, because that's something that's actually pretty simple. It seems like it could be tricky, but it's something so simple. And once we get that like locked in our heads, it's going to make us the absolute expert in the conversation and help us be able to explain something that, to be completely honest, not very many people understand. This is something that I had explained to me first in AP anatomy and physiology classes. And it's something that a lot of people don't understand, but it's actually really simple. So metabolism, I'm going to read you the definition of metabolism. It's the process that your body converts what you eat and drink into energy. So whatever you're eating and whatever you're drinking, sometimes you'll hear people say like drinking your calories, like things that you drink have calories as well, unless it's water. So metabolism is literally the process by which your body takes everything that you're putting in your mouth and converts it into energy. And that energy can either be used by like, your body doing something, whether that's digesting, because it takes energy to digest food and store food, or it takes energy to go run a marathon, or it can be energy that's stored into fat, or it can be energy that's, stored into muscle, something like that. So that's what metabolism is. taking things that you eat and drink and converting them into energy that you're either going to use right now or you're going to store for later. Real simple, right? You guys are already smarter. Okay. So basic metabolism factors. There's 3 of them. So there's 3 of them, and they're not really complicated at all. So it's body size and composition. So that's basically going to be like, how tall are you and how much muscle do you have? How much bone density do you have? Some people's shoulders are wider. Like, that is a fact of life. Some people have smaller skeletons, some people have bigger skeletons. That affects how many calories your body is going to burn, even if you didn't move a single muscle all day long. The second one is sex. Men have more muscle in general, and this is not like a sexist statement. It is like undeniable. It's like a thing. So their bodies burn more calories, like typically. Not every single man on the entire face of the planet obviously has more muscle than every single woman, but in general, male bodies have more muscle than female bodies of the same size. They're like percentage wise. And then number 3 is age. The older that we become, our bodies lose muscle mass. And that's something that's talked about in health arenas a lot. And as that happens, our bodies begin to burn less and less calories. So those are the 3 things that like play into that. So when we're talking to our customers, we kind of keep those 3 things in mind, because that affects how many calories people actually need. The bigger you are, whether you're a man or a female, and how old you are. Okay. And then the other things are food processing, which is thermogenesis. Those of you guys who've read the product information on TFX, you would know what that word is. And then the other thing is physical activity. So all of that stuff, basically, it's like, it plays, the more muscle you have, the more calories. Yeah. That plays into how many calories do you as a human need to function. And I did an example for you. So I have a 5'5" female on our team who's 30 years old and weighs 180 pounds. So, and you guys can figure this out. Like the term for this is basal metabolic rate. And that's the number of calories that's required to keep your body functioning at rest. So that'd be like if I laid in my bed and didn't move all day long, how many calories do they need to TPM into me so I don't die? And I would need well, not me, because this is not me, but 1,598 if that was my stuff. So that's how many you need. So if you take in more calories than that and you keep more calories than that, your body will gain weight. If you take in and keep less calories than that, your body will lose weight. Obviously, there's other things that can get involved. And I know in the chat, sometimes a lot of things will pop up. People talk about this kind of diet, that kind of diet, things about thyroid, things about hormones, you know, things about this person doesn't have a gallbladder, this person doesn't have this. I'm not saying that all of that isn't somehow a factor in this, but what I am going to say is this, and I want everyone to really pay attention when I say this. This is the basic math. It's really simple, and this is what's important. So all of that other stuff definitely matters, but when we're trying to figure out how to help people lose weight, we kind of miss the really simple part that's important, and this is what it is. However many calories we take in versus however many calories our body burns, the answer of that is either how much we're going to gain or how much we're going to lose. So if we can help our customers figure that out, we can literally help them figure out whether they're going to gain or whether they're going to lose weight. It is literally that simple. And I think that for ourselves as well, like so many people, and I'm going to show you guys this chart behind me, because this is like, yeah, Bianca says this is her entire degree. Okay, so I have this. Is this going to be, yeah. Okay, so I have calories burnt over here. So sleeping, when you sleep for 60 minutes, you burn 55 calories. When you sit, it's 85. This is all for an hour. Stand, it's 100. Jogging, it's 500. Can't read upside down and backwards. Tennis is whatever that says, 350. I'm like reading upside down and backwards. Biking is 450, and then walking is 280. Okay, so all of those is like how you burn extra calories. And literally, like you guys see, like you burn calories when you're sleeping. You also burn calories Like your body burns calories when you're digesting food. Like your body burns calories with every function that you're doing. So every single thing that you're doing, your body does burn calories. And then these are the calories in some food. So the ones at the top are obviously some unhealthy choices. A bottle of Coke is, I'm sorry, I can't read. 240, Snickers is 440, a McDonald's fry is 510, a small mocha frappuccino from Starbucks is 370, 1 ounce of almonds is 164. So I wanted to put these ones at the bottom just because I wanted to show you guys. These are some things that I've had customers tell me are healthy snacks or healthy choices, which they obviously are, right? Like these are some really healthy choices down here at the bottom. And I want to talk about this at length a little bit more. And first of all, I also want to say, I have never seen a human in my life who only ate 1 ounce of almonds. That's like 5 almonds. People eat like, I don't know how many ounces of almonds, like 6 ounces of almonds. That's like seriously 5 almonds. Oh, a banana, like a medium banana is like 89. These are obviously like rough estimates, but these are all some these are really healthy. But these are snacks or, you know, healthy options for meals. The ones at the bottom, obviously the McDonald's fries is not the healthy option. So the reason that I wanted to show you guys that is because when we're having conversations with customers, a lot of times I ask people, or basically every single time, when I'm talking to people about their eating habits, what is their diet? What does their eating plan look like? What does your exercise plan look like? Talking about their day. They'll be like, well, I'm eating really healthy. You know, they're always telling me they're eating really healthy. And sometimes they legitimately are, but sometimes the greater issue is not necessarily that they're not eating healthy. They might be eating so healthy. Like they might even be eating healthier than me, but they might just be eating like way too much. Like they might be eating 3 square meals a day that are like portion sizes that are too big, plus several snacks throughout the day that the portion sizes are too big. So like the overall caloric count is not only like too much for their whole basal metabolic rate, but it's like in excess. So that's why they're taking in more calories and keeping, and that's why the simple formula, they're gaining weight. Like Bianca, I love Bianca. Look at that formula. Guys, she's giving you the formula. I don't even have the formula. She's giving you actual formula. Mine is just like an arrow that says gain weight. That's the extent of my formula. This is the actual formula that Bianca's got. So somebody screenshot that and send it to me for later because I don't have that formula. But yeah, so for example, like if someone was going to tell me, and back there I've got the oatmeal, raw oatmeal, super healthy breakfast, y'all. But I know that I can tell them oatmeal has 389 calories. That's a fantastically healthy, you know, raw oatmeal breakfast. Or yogurt with 140 plus 289. So that would be, I can't do quick math in my head while I'm talking, but whatever that is, like that's great. But our keto coffee is only 100 calories. Our skinny brew is only 10. You guys can use that, you know, in conjunction with intermittent fasting, and then you're cutting out however many, whatever the difference of calories that is. Like that's a big difference for you. So you can use this to your advantage and basically just help them figure out, like throughout the course of a week, look at that huge deficit that you just gave yourself. Like that's going to be a bunch of calories that you're saving yourself over the course of your 90 days. You just saved yourself. I should have figured this out ahead of time. I like cannot do quick math in my head. Where's my accountant husband? Somewhere. But that's a lot of calories. So that's how we can use this and basically explain to them, like, first of all, not everyone is having raw oatmeal and like raw granola for breakfast. But second of all, even if they are, like we still have a better option for you and we can explain to them. And Brittany's going to talk a little bit more now about intermittent fasting specifically, and just a little bit more about how that fits in, and not just like on the calorie basis and like how the obviously like less calories equals, you know, a deficit, but she has a little bit more information about why that's beneficial.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to reiterate something that Amanda shared, because I feel like if you can get this, this is gold, and this will help you help your customers so much more quickly and get to the root problem. If someone tells you they're eating really, really healthy, and you ask them for examples, and it turns out, like Amanda said, it is healthy things, but they swear up and down they're still not losing weight, they're either super dehydrated, never drinking water, they're drinking like 1 cup of water a day and their body's not functioning right because it's dehydrated, or they're eating way too much, like Amanda said, or both. But like 9 times out of 10, if I have a customer that starts walking me through their day and it is pretty healthy things they're naming, I'm going to instantly conclude it's probably way too much. Like Amanda said with the almonds, you know, most people don't just eat 1 ounce of almonds. And on that chart, it says 1 ounce of almonds is 164. So if you're eating like 5 ounces of almonds at a time, like you do the math, what's 160? I'm just going to round it to 200 for the sake of math real quick. That's like 1,000 calories for that one little snack. Like you guys, Bianca's figuring out my BMR for me right now because she's literally the best. But like I can tell you right now, mine's a pretty low amount, like with my height and my weight and not being super, super active. I don't need that many calories to live. I could easily almost hit my calories by sitting there eating a bag of almonds. And so we just don't realize how quickly things add up. And that is 9 times out of 10 where we have a hard time losing weight. And a few things I'm going to talk about in a little bit are going to really help you, you know, kind of get in a better mindset, or you can help, if you're already in a good mindset, this will be some phrases you can help your customers get in a better mindset. But before we do that, I want to talk about intermittent fasting real quick. So number one, you guys know, especially if you follow my stuff closely, I'm such a huge proponent of simplicity. I'm very like against hardcore dieting because I just think for like most average people that you're helping as your customer, they're not going to stick to a diet very long. Most people don't have the discipline to even remember to take their products every day or exercise every day, much less stick to a diet long term. And so my mindset, and I just want to share this with you guys, and you don't have to do things exactly the way I do, exactly the way Amanda does. Our goal is for you to just like hear our, like, you know, have your own aha moments, your own takeaways, and then, you know, you can adopt, you know, what you're going to do to best help your customers and help yourself and lead by example as well. But what my mindset is with my customers is I would much rather help them make a few simple changes that they can stick to forever, or at least for a really long time, and have really good results from, then try to encourage them to go like full-blown keto tomorrow, and then, you know, then hate it, and then give up in a couple weeks, and then stop ordering products in 3 months and be like, I'm sorry, it's just not worth it, I can't do it. But I want to kind of get back on track with intermittent fasting here first. So Carla Burns, you guys, if you don't know, she lives down here in Southwest Florida near me. I get to see her every month for a mastermind. She's It Works doctor on staff. She's incredible. I love listening to her talk about all things health. She's so knowledgeable. She's more on the holistic side. She's a functional medicine doctor. And I just love her approach, honestly. If you guys don't know, Carla's also very fit. So I trust people who, like, if it's working for them, I'm like, all right, you obviously know what you're talking about. I know that you're educated in this, but also the proof is in the pudding. I'm looking right at you, and clearly you know what you're doing. And so that's how I feel about Carla. I just want to share for those of you who don't know her. I personally vouch for her. She's amazing. But Carla told me once, I'll never forget, when everyone was like talking hardcore keto all the time, she was like, honestly, it's really not good to do keto for long term. She's like, it's just not. She's like, people love keto and people can lose a lot of weight with keto, and keto's not bad. There's so many amazing health benefits from keto. She's like, but where the biggest benefits come from keto is the intermittent fasting part of keto. She's like, and you can get those benefits even if you're not fully keto, if you're just intermittent fasting and making great choices the rest of the time, like clean eating. You don't have to be full keto. And this was very enlightening to me. And I sat there just like really digging in and asking her a lot of questions, because at this time Zach was doing keto, and it just like, it really applied directly to our family. And I was really interested. And she said, whenever you have people that are doing keto and they're not really losing that much weight, like they've been on keto for a while and they've kind of plateaued, or they've been on keto for a while and, like, you know, maybe they feel better, have more energy, but they're really not dropping that much weight. She's like, they're eating way too much. She's like, you can overeat on keto. She's like, you know, you can be full-blown keto and overeating. And this is kind of what really got me thinking for like the first time in a while, like really deep about the concept of calories in, calories out, which is what Amanda just got done talking about. It's something I've always known, but it kind of really came more to my mind when everyone was doing keto. And I kind of just like being transparent with you guys, I noticed certain people doing keto that were getting really small and certain people doing keto that weren't really having a lot of changes. And so hearing her say this, it made so much sense to me. That like, yeah, you can be doing keto, but if you're eating way too much, you're not going to have the same results. And so hearing her talk about intermittent fasting was really fascinating to me, because she said that is the biggest, oh, can you guys hear me? Someone said they can't. Okay. Must just be that person's issue. Okay. But yeah, what really got me about intermittent fasting, hearing her talk about it, is this is something anyone can do. And she said it is the it is the part of keto that actually has the most benefits. So why not just do that was kind of my process when I was taking away from her. So for me, I've been doing intermittent fasting for probably 2 years now. It has hands down been the reason that I have gotten the results that I've had with our products, in conjunction with like making good choices when I am eating. But basically the concept of intermittent fasting is you have a block of time you do not eat. Most of the time for intermittent fasting, you're not eating breakfast, which I know growing up, you guys, you heard you should eat 3 square meals a day. Carla has straight up told me, no, you actually like should be fasting through breakfast. Like we don't need the food we've been conditioned to believe we need in America. Like in America, we eat more than any other country. If we have any international team on here, I'm sure they'll vouch for this. Amanda used to live in South Africa. I know she'll vouch for this. I've got family in Europe. They would tell you this. We eat so much more in America. When you go to a restaurant in America versus going to a restaurant in another country, the plate size is astronomically different. So we've been conditioned to believe we need these 3 square meals a day, these big meals. It's just not true. Go talk to like someone like Carla. I promise you, they will tell you in a heartbeat, it's not true. And there's a reason that as a country, we're less healthy than a lot of other countries because of the way that we eat. And so intermittent fasting, what I love about it and why I love it for myself, why I love it for my customers, is it is a really simple thing to start doing. It's an easy thing to train yourself to start doing, and you don't have to hate your life. Like you're not on a diet. You're just making some like switcheroos in your routine. So for me, when I stop eating after dinner, I don't eat until lunchtime the next day. So I have my coffee and greens in the morning for breakfast. I'm gonna answer something that a lot of you maybe have had this question. So a lot of people say keto coffee and greens breaks your fast. Carla says it does not. She says there is 2 different types of fasts, and when people say it does, they're getting confused because there's 2 different types. The fat burning fast, it does not break. There's a different type of fast that basically anything but black coffee, water, celery would break. But she said that is a fast that that has nothing to do with like your typical intermittent fasting. That's a fast people will do for like very specific health reasons. Skinny Brew actually would not break that fast, but fat burning fast, keto coffee and greens does not break. I've literally double cross-checked this with Carla because a lot of people in the top leader chat swear keto coffee breaks your fast. And I'm like, I've heard her say this like 18 times. And I literally just asked her when we were there last time, and she was like, no, it does not break your fat burning fast. So for me, I have keto coffee and greens in the morning. I'm not going to get too much into products because Amanda already did this, but like, if you're wondering if Skinny Brew or keto coffee is better for you, my personal opinion, and I've talked about my theory about this with Carla, and she did say that, yes, I'm pretty much onto something here. She didn't completely endorse my full statement, but she was like, yeah, basically what you're saying. So if you're already exactly where you want to be with your results, you can do either. If you have a little ways to go with your weight loss, you're better off doing Skinny Brew. For me right now, I'm just trying to maintain my weight, and I enjoy having the healthy fats from the keto coffee. So I personally do keto coffee and chocolate greens. We did not have Skinny Brew when I was trying to lose weight after having Adeline. Had we had it, I would have done that. But like I lost all my weight with keto coffee and greens. And at this point, I'm just maintaining. I'm in a good routine. That's what I do. But when I'm recommending cut like to my customers, it kind of just depends on who it is. Like if there's someone that they maybe need to lose 5 pounds, I'm going to tell them, you know what, you should do keto coffee and greens. I absolutely love it. I think you would like it too. It's super creamy. It's amazing. If it's someone that's got 40 pounds to lose, I'm probably going to give them Skinny Brew just because I know they're going to get faster results from that. It is less calories, and we're talking about calories in, calories out here. So I just wanted to explain that real quick, even though this isn't a full-blown product Zoom. So for intermittent fasting, when you're starting off intermittent fasting, like the key is like getting yourself accustomed to it, and you can gradually push it out further. So like if you've always eaten breakfast at 9 a.m., a good start would be intermittent fasting till like 11 a.m. And then you can break your fast, have an early lunch. But then after about a week of that and that feeling easy to you, start pushing it out till noon. After about a week of that, you can push it off till 1. I had a period of time where I was pushing it out longer, but Carla actually advised me personally with like my frame and my size to break my fast around like 1 or 1:30. So that's what I do. There was a time I pushed out longer. I think especially if you're like in a beginning stage of your weight loss journey, or your customer is, I mean, definitely if they want to push it out to like 2 or 2:30, they can. The key though with intermittent fasting, and this is straight from Carla, when you break your fast, you need to break it with something really good, really healthy. If you break your fast with absolute junk, that is not good. So you want to break your fast with something really good. So what she told me, because I'm someone that like, after intermittent fasting for so long, I just don't really feel that hungry a lot. And so what she had told me was like breaking my fast with like Ezekiel bread. So I have Ezekiel bread that I keep in my fridge and like just plain whipped cream cheese. And I'll just like eat that and break my fast. Sometimes I'll eat like one of my like protein balls that I get from Evolve, or like some little meals I order from them, something like that. If you are meal prepping and you have some like healthy things ready to go, Amanda's going to talk about some healthy eating options in a minute. So there's so many different ways you can break your fast, but like the key is you do want to break it with something decent. And then what I do and what I tell all my customers to do who are intermittent fasting is have a normal dinner. Have a normal dinner with your family. Just don't overeat. You can live your life as normal. I wanted to share something with you guys. Tonight for dinner, I got home. We had our concealed carry class tonight, Zach and I did. And so we got home. I didn't have a ton of time before the Zoom, and I wanted to take my little kids out for ice cream. And so I ate one of my little like ready to go Evolve meals that I get. It was a barbecue chicken salad with mixed greens. It was 330 calories, really small portions, way smaller or way less calories than if you were to like make food yourself and put it on a huge plate like we're talking about, overeating more than you need. So 330 calories. I felt full, but it was a healthy option. There was really nothing bad in it. It was just good, solid nutrition. I had the greens, I had the chicken. And so after that, I went and took my kids for ice cream. I got froyo. They got ice cream, but I got froyo because I'm trying, like, you know, just it's trade-offs, like make a healthier choice. And I didn't feel bad about getting froyo because I had a really good dinner. After my froyo, I took a couple fat fighters for good measure, and then came home. Here I am on the Zoom, and I feel great. Like I'm not, like what I love about this routine is you can still enjoy your life. If you're on vacation, you can go out to eat, you can, you know, whatever, but you don't have to like watch every single move. If you're just making good choices the bulk of the time, it's the 80-20 rule. Make good choices 80% of the time and you can enjoy yourself 20% of the time. And then of course, have your fat fighters on hand, like still be smart, like utilize the tools you've got. But you, like for me, I don't want to have to do a diet. And so the best way that I can like look the way I want to look and have the energy levels I want to have is just making smart choices. And for me, that's intermittent fasting and portion control. In a second, I'm going to pass it back over to Amanda to let her kind of hit on that more. As we're going, I did just want to say, if anyone has any questions and you want to drop them in the chat, we're happy to answer any questions. Also, what I want to say, just another little tip about intermittent fasting is like, let's say you're new to intermittent fasting, you eat dinner at like 5 o'clock and you normally always pig out in the evenings, you have snacks and you know that's not the greatest, you're trying to kick it, you just start intermittent fasting, it's 8 o'clock and you're like feeling really hungry. Have a BFF. Like it's okay if you're not doing everything perfectly, but like make good choices. If I ever, like some nights for whatever reason, I will feel hungrier. Some nights I don't even think about food at all after dinner. But if I am, I'm gonna grab a BFF. It's 140 calories. It's a fat burning shake. It's still good. It's the best way to start off your fast. So yeah, I might have started my fast a couple hours later than usual, but it's still something really good for me. And that kind of goes into the next thing I wanted to talk about with this. And that is something I learned from Rachel Hollis when I was doing her life coaching last year. She said, if you look at everything you consume as, does this bless my body? She's like, you will make so much better decisions about what you're putting in your body. She's like, literally, look at that Starbucks, look at that Coke, look at that Snickers, look at those McDonald's fries, and ask yourself, does this bless my body? And if the answer is no, then let 20% of the time or less, you can have it, but the other 80% of the time, you got to say no to those things that don't bless your body. You know, if you're looking at a smoothie or a banana or, you know, I don't know, what I ate tonight, barbecue chicken salad with mixed greens, like, yes, those are things that bless your body. And a BFF, and okay, if you're like, if it's late at night and you're like, man, I really want a cookie, and you're like, I better not, does that bless my body? No. What about a BFF? Yes, that does bless my body. I'm gonna grab that. Like, it's a simple way, it might sound elementary, but it's a simple way you can retrain your brain to start making better choices. And for me, when she said that, I wouldn't have, this was in 2019 when she said this, I wouldn't have considered myself an unhealthy person in 2019. I definitely was like nearing the end of my weight loss journey after having Adeline. I felt pretty good, but I definitely didn't make good choices all the time, not anywhere near the amount of time I do this year. And when she said that, that was a really big aha moment for me because I had a really bad sweet tooth. Like if you guys don't know, like that was my weakness in 2019 especially, was like milkshakes. Like I would starve myself for a milkshake and I was having them like every night for a while. And then when she said that, I'm like, you know, I really shouldn't have one every night. Like, you know, maybe once a week, once every other week, but not every night. And so I got myself out of that habit because I'm like, this isn't good for me. Like that much sugar every single day is not good for me. And so that's just a small example. I'm trying to be real with you guys that helped me overcome and helped me kick that. And do I still have sweets? Yes. But I try to make sure it's less of the time and I make better options when I can. Like tonight, the kids got ice cream, I got froyo. So it's just all about getting yourself in better habits. I think when we expect ourselves to be perfect, that's when we let ourselves down. And I want my customers to know that too. I want them to know, like, start with a couple simple changes. If you're having your skinny brew, your chocolate greens every morning, and your intermittent fasting, we're gonna start with that and drinking a lot of water. When you've got this locked down in a month and this is like easy peasy, lemon squeezy, you're feeling amazing, then we're gonna start honing in on your food and really like tweaking some things there. But I always like to make sure that I'm not, like when I'm talking to my customers about health, I don't want them to feel like they're drinking out of a fire hose. I want that, or fire hydrant, whatever the phrase is. I want to make sure that it's things that they feel confident they can do. It's changes they're like, okay, I could do that. I could make that. Because then they're not going to give up. They'll keep going and then they'll be hungry for more. They'll be like, what else could I do? How else could I improve? So on that note, I'm going to pass this over to Amanda and kind of let her take it off because she's got a lot more good stuff to share. And then we'll come back to some of this in a second.
Yeah, I think what Brittany said too, like just making sure that we don't make it feel like they're getting a fire hydrant in their face, just making it really, really simple, because when you think about it and when you really look at this, and I can send a screenshot of this through the July chat or like send a picture of it. It's really simple. I know I went through it quickly, but it really is simple. It's like what's going in and then like what's going out, and what's going out is like what's being burnt, like what's being expelled. It's really, really simple. So if you can just break it down to someone, because a lot of people who come to us probably feel like they've tried everything. They feel like they've tried everything. Nothing's working for them. They're desperate to lose weight. So we want to help them break it down to be really, really simple and find tools to go into their toolbox that's going to make them feel like they can find a win. You know what I'm saying? Help them find a win. And then as they find their win, then we can keep giving them more tools to put into their toolbox and help them, you know, be able to reach their health goals. And also, like, as they do that, not only, this is not all about like losing weight, it's about being healthier in general, and about like, you'll have more energy too. Like you're going to feel more energized, feel healthier in general. Okay, so one thing that I want to touch on too is we talked about portion control, and this is just like a really small tip. I don't know if Brittany talked about it. Did you talk about the plate sizes?
Not yet. I said I was going to let you touch on that.
Okay. So one tip that I will say for me personally that has helped me immensely is to find a smaller plate. So I'm going to be really honest with you guys too. Just for me personally, like I had to take the emotion out of eating. Like I am an emotional eater. I didn't gain any weight basically for the 13 weeks that I was pregnant, but after I miscarried, I gained a ton of weight. And it wasn't necessarily because I was eating bad food. I did make some unhealthy food eating choices, but it was basically like the massive amount of food that I was eating. I was just eating everything in sight. It could be healthy food, but I was just eating so much food. Like almonds is actual specific example of I was just eating insane amounts of nuts. Like we had cashews and I would eat the whole container of cashews, which is like a lot of calories and carbs. So, Michaela, okay, yes. So basically one thing that I had to do for myself for meals was I had to get myself a smaller plate. So I had to see like, okay, I'm trying to lose weight. I had gained all this weight. I had to find myself, figure out a plan, like what is my plan? And I thought, okay, well, I can do this by limiting my portion size. But if I use the same giant, really pretty plates that we have, it's going to like trick my brain into thinking that I'm starving myself. So let me find myself a smaller plate. So we had this one random Fiesta-ware plate that was like way up in the cupboard. I don't even know where it came from. And I pulled it down. I like got up on a chair and was like climbing around. So I pulled it down. And it's like an oval plate. It's a really, I don't even know why we have this plate. But basically, it's this oval plate and you can fit not very much food on it at all. But I started using that plate because I could plate things like really cute on there. I could take cute pictures for my story. It looked really cute, but I also could not fit very much food on there at all. And I started using that plate. And it didn't make me think that I wasn't able to fit food on there, if that makes sense. So get yourself a smaller plate. And if you typically do your meal plans like a meat, a vegetable, and a starch, which is what I typically did mine as, I would just recommend maybe doing like a meat, a cooked vegetable, and then a salad. That's what we've done before, like as a family when somebody was trying to lose weight. And then, yeah, take the emotion out of eating. It's really simple math. Like, it doesn't need to be anything that's complicated at all. And like the chart that I showed you guys, like, obviously there are some things on there that are very healthy snacks, but like what Brittany said, like, does this bless my body? Or you can even think like, does action, like, is this going to take me closer to my goal, or is this going to take me further away from my goal? And I also find on the days that I run, it's easier for me to say no to a snack than on the days that I didn't run, because I just went out and busted my booty, and it's Texas and it's 100 degrees outside. So on those days, it's really a lot easier for me to say, you know what, cup of cashews, I don't need you today, because it was really hot this morning. So I don't want to go do that again. So I don't need, in that half a pound that I lost yesterday, I don't want to gain it back. So I'm going to go ahead and pass on the cashews. I'm not even that hungry. Like, I'll just wait. So that's one thing that I will share. Let me just see what else I've got for you. Tools in the tool belt. So TFX, like I said, product info, it boosts thermogenesis. Back to, those are the other factors on like the basic metabolic factories. Food processing, that's like the thermogenesis. So when you take like ThermoFight X, it's literally helping boost your metabolism. So if you can remember to do that twice a day, you're literally giving yourself a leg up. That's a tool in your tool belt. So when you help your customers do that, when you like set your customers up with TFX, you're setting them up for success. Regardless of what they're doing at all, you're setting them up for success if you can get them to purchase that every single month. Period. They need it. And then fat fighters as well. I pretty much refuse to believe that there's a human in America that doesn't eat carbs at least a couple times a week. I just don't. So I think that that's also setting yourself up for success by getting fat fighters and having that as a tool in your tool belt for if you have some kind of carbs. And it doesn't even matter, like, there's all different kinds of carbs, y'all. Like, I'm not saying that you're having French fries or something, but there's a lot of different kinds of carbs. So I think that fat fighters are a great tool to have in your tool belt. And one other tip that I want to give on like the smaller plate thing too, and this is kind of a silly thing, but if you use a smaller fork, you can take smaller bites and it makes your meal last longer. Which if you feel like you're depriving yourself of food, like if you're trying to really cut your portion sizes down and like that's bothering you, making you feel like it's trying to, you know, if that's bothering you and you wanted more food, then if you give yourself a smaller fork, you might be able to trick yourself into thinking you actually have more food than you do. I did that for a while too. I got myself the smaller fork, even though I like using the larger dinner fork because it causes you to eat, like, takes longer. Random tip. And then this is a really random thing too, but I'm going to share it because I thought it was actually really useful. So I have never liked eating breakfast, so intermittent fasting is not challenging for me at all. But I do want to say that the very first time that I drank celery, I had a great challenge with it. So the thought did occur to me that if you have a problem skipping breakfast and you haven't tried celery yet, celery might help you skip your breakfast a little bit easier. So what I'm just saying is, like, if you're really in the mood to eat some breakfast and then you wanted to drink your celery, I have a feeling there is a definite chance that after drinking your celery, you might not be quite as hungry. You might just really want to wait for a bit, which is great because you have to wait for 30 minutes anyways. So some celery could work for you. That's one thing. Yeah, and then the last thing that I want to say too is, like, I would just challenge everybody that's on here who, whether you're interested in losing weight or whether you're not, Catherine, whether you're not interested in losing weight, we all know somebody who is interested in it, and we all know people who are trying to, and our customers. So there are a lot of different apps that you can use. I would just challenge you guys to monitor your caloric intake for a week and monitor like what you're burning for a week. I don't think that it's good. Like, I know some people who, like, my cousin is an example of this, who has, like, and she's lost a ton of weight doing it. She's lost like almost 50 pounds, like, and that's amazing if that works for her. Like, I am never going to be somebody who counts calories. I'm never going to live like that. I'm never going to be somebody who follows a strict diet. I refuse to live like that. But I do think that it's important to understand the concept, because I think it helps us be able to make the good choices. So I think that, like, if you guys are up for the challenge, I would challenge you to try to do it for the next week or so. Like, try to do it for the next, 3 to 7 days, just so you can get into the swing of it. And if for no other reason, just so you understand how many calories am I actually intaking on any given day. Because it will vary based on any, given day. It's a little bit different because a lot of us aren't allowed to leave our houses basically right now. And then how many calories am I actually burning on any given day? Because, you burn calories sitting, you burn calories standing. There's like a calorie chart. You can just Google calories burnt and you can search the images. There's like calories burnt while washing dishes, calories burnt while sewing. Like, there's calories burnt like while all of these like random things. And you can just keep track of it for a week. And then you'll just like be more conscious of like how many you're actually going in and how many you're actually going out. And I feel like that will be so empowering for so many of us to be like more in control of knowing what's going on and like exactly maybe what some of our pitfalls could be. Because like for me, for example, like I did not know that a serving size of almonds was 1 ounce. Like, I definitely knew I was probably eating way more than an actual serving, did not really care, but I didn't know that it was actually 1 ounce and didn't know it was like, 5 almonds. So if you guys are up for the challenge, I would just challenge you guys to take that, run with that, take that back to your teams that might not be on tonight, and just really use this to empower yourself and be able to learn it and communicate it to your customers as well, because this is stuff that can really, you can use this for helping them understand like basically how our products fit into your life and how our things are able to help everyone.
I love that so much. And I think like when you know what your number is, just like Amanda said, like, I know like we're the exact same in this, and both of us, like, we do not want to live our life in a rigid way. We want to live our life very fluidly. So neither one of us count things, neither one of us diet or anything like that. But just knowing about how much your body actually needs will help you really get in a good routine, especially if you're really far off in your routine right now. Like, even if you just like think about what you ate today and spend some time tonight going through and calculating the calories of everything you ate today after you figure out what you need for your body, you'll probably be shocked. Like, I think it was Jordan that just said that she didn't realize what it added up to until she counted. And so I think that would be a great visual, even if you're not going to count it every single day for the next week. At least go back and count today, count yesterday, count the day before. And if you realize you were eating 3,500 calories each day the past 3 days in your body, you only need 1,800. Well, then there you go. You got to cut that in half. Intermittent fasting is the easiest way to do that. And then just really getting in some better habits. I asked Bianca, and shout out to Bianca for being like a scientist basically, because I don't even know how you do this, but she did it in like 10 seconds for me. But I just sent her my height and my weight. And guys, don't everybody ask Bianca, okay? She's put the formula in the chat, so save the formula. But she, with my height and my weight and my age and my activity level, just figured this out for me. So for my body, I only need 1,300 calories a day, basically 1,315, so 1,315. So it's really easy. Like, I get this a lot, okay? If I'm on like a story or on a live, like I'm doing a video on my story or I'm on a live and I talk about my routine, or even sometimes on posts, I have people a lot, and Amanda knows this because she's had people do this to her, and she's probably heard me vent about when people do this to me. But I've had people that are literally like, you are under eating, you are not eating near enough. And I'm like, yes, I am. I don't actually need that much. Like, if you're truly eating to live and you're looking at food, does this bless my body? You don't really need that much. We've just been so conditioned in America to overeat, basically, just not sugarcoating it. And so like seeing that number, like 1,315 calories, like if that's all I need, like you guys can quickly see how you can meet that in a day, you know? And maybe yours is the same as mine. Maybe yours is 1,800, whatever it is. Like, it's so much easier to hit that than you would think, like Amanda just showed with her chart. And so I think it's just empowering knowing the number. It's empowering feeling confident in the subject so you can talk to your customers. Like, I have talked to customers before that when I told them my routine and they're like, hey, just tell me what you do. Like, you've got great results. I want the kind of results you have. Tell me exactly what your day looks like. There's been people that I've told them and they're like, is that healthy? And I'm like, yeah, I have a lot of nutrition. And Amanda asked me to talk about this, like how your supplements tie into like your nutrition that you need as well. So I'm going to hit on this in a second, but it's crazy how many people will do a double take and they're like, is that healthy? And I'm like, yeah, I've never felt better. I have more energy now than I've ever felt. I stay at this weight. It's not like I lose weight. I weigh 117, you guys, and I've been this weight since probably last fall. I think it's been almost a year. Haven't lost a single extra pound. This is the weight I was at in high school, and this is what I stay at. And so after I got all the baby weight off after having Adeline, I haven't like obsessively or unhealthily lost weight. It's just like when I eat what I need for my body, I stay right there where I'm supposed to be. And that is how like the formula works. Like once you lose your weight, if you do what you're supposed to do, you'll maintain that. So I wanted to talk about, for me, because this does tie into how I give my customers advice, and hopefully you can take this and figure out what this looks like for you and also feel confident talking to people about it. But your supplements can tie in so much into your daily nutrition, and you like, and a lot of times, like you might find that you are having more supplements than you are even food. I saw Chelsea said in the chat just a second ago that she intermittent fast. She has celery and then skinny brew and chocolate grains in the morning. And then she said sometimes she's not hungry for dinner, but if she does have lunch, she has a BFF with more chocolate greens. That's honestly like very normal. And then with her dinner, she probably with dinner, BFF and skinny brew and greens, like she probably actually hit what she was supposed to be at that day, especially if she had a little snack somewhere. And so like, you know, like the whole theme of tonight has been like, it's so much easier to hit that. But I wanted to share with you guys kind of what my routine looks like, and you can take which parts of it you like, but definitely just like log it away, at least in your mental notes for when you are talking to customers who are ordering quite a few products with you. So for me personally, I wake up in the morning, I have my celery, and then I wait about 30 minutes to an hour. And then I have my keto coffee and chocolate green combo. And then I pretty much don't eat till like 1:30 or 2. When I eat, you know, I kind of already talked about what I'll break my fast with, but something healthy. And then I do not eat after that until dinner time. And I'll eat usually like one of our Evolve meals that we order. I will, if Zach is cooking, I will eat whatever Zach cooks, but I eat a small plate size like Amanda talked about. And then I don't eat anything else after that unless I, for some crazy reason, feel really hungry at night, in which case I'll have a BFF. I do every night whenever I'm doing my planking and my push-ups and stuff, I will have my collagen, super reds, and hydrate combo. I personally do 2 packs of collagen. That's 10 grams of collagen protein, which is what Carla recommended for me personally when I had my like scan with her. And then I do just 1 scoop of super reds and then 1 packet of hydrate. And so that's a lot of nutrition in and of itself too. Like you don't realize when you're getting your 8 full servings from your fruits and veggies from your greens, when you're getting, you know, whatever, all the stuff you're getting with super reds, you're having your celery, you're having the fats from the coffee, or if you're having skinny brew, you've got nootropics. And then, you know, your hydrate for your electrolytes, all the things, like you're getting a lot of nutrition with all that stuff. And I think sometimes because we're so conditioned to think food is our only source of nutrition, we forget we actually get a lot of what we need from our supplements if we're being consistent. And if you haven't been consistent, just like sit down tonight and ask yourself, like, what does an ideal routine look like for me? Maybe it's the routine I just shared. I'll let Amanda share hers in a second. Maybe it's her routine, but like what's important is that you can just like lay out what a routine for you is going to look like and then just stick to it. Because if you stick to it, like that's going to become a habit in no time. And then it's going to make it easier to make those healthier choices. Sometimes if I'm feeling a little hungry in the evening and it's about the time I would have my collagen, my hydrate, my super reds, sometimes I'll just go drink a huge thing of water. And then I'm like, you know, I'm about to have that. And even though that's not like food, it is kind of filling, like 2 packs of collagen, the super reds, all that. And so I'll just drink a big thing of water, and then I'll do my planking and my push-ups and stuff. And then I'll just go drink that. And then most of the time I feel fine. Like I'm not even hungry anymore. And so I think like the more you learn your body, it makes it easier to make better choices because you realize what you actually need versus kind of what you want in the moment. But one other tip I wanted to share before I forget, because Amanda was talking about some hacks with portion control. Drinking a ton of water before meals will also help you not overeat. Like if you drink a full thing of water before you eat and then you get a small plate like she talked about, I promise you, even if you have a huge history of overeating, you're gonna find it way easier to eat smaller. And then that's a really simple tip you can give every single customer. Like if I have a customer that they're like, I just can't stop eating, I stress eat all day, the first thing I tell them is, well, you gotta drink tons of water. Like how much do you weigh? No, and I don't even just tell them the half your body weight, you guys. I tell them that's the bare minimum. They never go lower than that. But I tell them if you can exceed that, That's only going to help you lose weight faster. That's only going to help you feel better. You'll feel less hungry. All the things you're wanting to accomplish, you'll start seeing. So keep that tip away too, because keep that tip tucked away too, because that's a really easy thing that you can give to any single person. Another thing though that Amanda had asked me to hit on that I almost forgot, but she had said, really covering like empty calories versus energy calories. And Amanda talked a little bit ago about like how certain things we eat do give us energy, but then certain things we eat can make us feel so blah. Like on her little chart, if you're having a Coke, Snickers, and fries, you're not going to feel as good as someone who just had a small little handful of 5 1-ounce almonds that none of us actually eat that few, and then a banana, and then, you know, I don't know, a yogurt or something. You're going to like, and this kind of ties back into, does this bless my body? Like if you eat foods that bless your body, you're going to have energy from that. But if you just eat a bunch of empty calories, think like big venti s'mores frappuccino from Starbucks, or you know, a milkshake, or, you know, a lot of the top options on her board. Yeah, you just ate something and it probably took up almost your whole calorie count for the day, but it did nothing for you. And so the goal is, if we make good decisions 80% of the time, we keep our not so great decisions less than 20% of the time, keep those empty calories less than 20%, then you're going to find that you feel so much better and you might have more energy and you're eating less. And it kind of ties back into what I'm saying when people will say to me, like, oh, I just don't know that that's healthy. You don't seem like you're eating at all, or you're eating enough at all. But it's like, if everything I'm consuming is good for me and everything I'm consuming blesses my body, then I'm way better off than someone that ate way more than me. Does that make sense? Like food can weigh you down so fast. Empty calories specifically, what we're talking about, can weigh you down so fast. But then also, like she was sharing, if you eat too much of a good thing, like too much of anything, even a good thing can be a bad thing. And so, you know, just really being mindful of those things. Before I kind of talk about something else, Amanda, did you want to share a little bit about just like ways that you fit in better, like healthier options and vegetables and stuff?
Yeah, so one thing that I'll talk about too, and this is just a tip that has helped me drop some of the weight that I had recently gained. Like I said, I'm an emotional eater. I like to eat, and I like to be able to eat, if that makes sense. So one thing that I like to do is I like to indulge in our products. I love the collagen. I love the hydrate. I love the super reds. I love the berry greens. I think that they taste amazing. I love the BFF when you make it like a chocolate mousse. So I have like tricked myself into thinking, not tricked myself, it doesn't take any tricking whatsoever, that those are snacks. So like Brittany talked about her day as like those as a routine. I used to have it as a routine, but now sometimes what I do is I literally will use those as my snacks throughout the day. And sometimes I just switch it up and I just base it on like, what am I in the mood for right now? I always have most of them throughout the day, usually at basically the same time. But I might switch it up based on like, if I'm at a, you know, if I have a Zoom with my team at this time, I might want to have this at this time and be able to sip it, you know, whatever. So, that's one tip that I have for you. And then as a like another thing for vegetables, I like to be able to do something where I can have as much of something as possible, especially whenever like I feel like I'm restricting other things. So there are things like carrots, cucumbers. Those are things that I don't ever restrict for myself. Luckily, my kid loves both of those things as well. Celery, and I love them too. So like those are snacks that our family, not my husband, but he locks himself upstairs anyway, so that's fine. Me and Daniel will like munch on all day long and like basically I will eat as many of them as I want. And you have to chew carrots quite a bit anyways, so you feel like you're eating a lot of carrots. Like if you're gonna eat a bowl of carrots, you feel like it took you an hour to eat a bowl of carrots. Same thing with like, or if you get like a little bit of like Italian dip or something like that, like Italian dressing, and that's like not very many calories at all, especially if you get like a clean brand. It's basically like olive oil and like a little bit of herbs. You can even make your own if you wanted to. A little bit of vinegar in there. And then as far as like sometimes for like healthy lunches, whenever I have been like trying to stretch my fast out, and this probably breaks my fast. So I say intermittent fasting, but this might very well break my fast and I'm just not aware of it. Sometimes for lunches, whenever I don't want an actual lunch, and like I'll do BFF a lot of times for lunch, but if I didn't want to do BFF, but I also didn't want to eat like a sandwich, for example, I'll do something like sauteed greens. So I'll switch it up. I'll do bok choy, or I'll do cabbage, or I'll do like turnip greens, and I'll do like a tiny bit of butter, and then I'll do like some salt and black pepper or cayenne pepper or cinnamon or all of the above, and saute them and make a giant pan of them. And then you can eat as much as you want. There's not very many calories, not like almost anything in there other than nutrients. And it's like super, super healthy for you. And then for me, that's always great for me because I feel like I can eat as much of it as I want. I can eat a ginormous bowl of bok choy and feel like I'm making a really healthy choice. Now, obviously that's something that's really specific and like a very green leafy vegetable. So if you're not into the green leafy vegetables, maybe stick to your chocolate greens and your BFF. But if you like the green leafies, then give it a try. It's definitely something that for me, and it has a really nice flavor, even if you just put like just a little bit of butter, you know, some cayenne pepper in there. Yeah. And then Brittany had also mentioned sweet potatoes too. And apples do have a little bit of sugar, but I wanted to mention apples too. Like apples are a really good option as well if you want something that's sweet. Like if you want, you know, I always do BFF, like if I want a chocolate mousse, but if you're in the mood for like a dessert, like you could do apples with like a little bit of like healthier, like a clean peanut butter, like for a dessert, instead of something that's actually dessert. And that's a very healthy dessert option. Or you could do sweet potatoes instead of a starch, for your dinner. And that's a way healthier option than like some kind of a bread or a pasta. And it also has like, instead of like empty calories, empty carbs, there's actual nutrients in there that fuel your body and provide you with something other than just like empty starch. And one thing that I wanted to say too, we were talking about like international portion sizes. And I will say, like when I was living in South Africa, like Louis, oh, grapes. Yeah, grapes are great too. Louis' family, like it's like one of their big family jokes, like how the large sizes over there, even like at Starbucks, which is an internationally owned company, like the large at Starbucks over there is smaller than the small is here. And it's like that with all of the companies, but it's like dramatic over there. And it's so funny because over here, like we eat so much more and then we drive ourselves crazy trying to go work it all off and make ourselves absolutely go nuts, you know, doing this P90X. And I'm not bashing Shanti. Louis loves Shanti and he's doing Shanti. So I'm not bashing it at all, but I'm just saying like we make ourselves crazy because of the portion sizes and what we have been conditioned to think is normal when the rest of the world, and then we're confused like why everything, you know, why it is like that. But really it's just that the rest of the world's portion sizes are so much smaller and we just eat so much more over here. And then over there, you know, over in other places, they don't have to do quite as much working out. And I also think, and this is, I was trying to think of a conspiracy theory for Brittany's post, and I thought of one. I think that that's why our heart disease is higher. Obviously, heart disease is linked to weight and like obesity, but I think that even if you would be able to extrapolate the obesity factor from our American heart disease, I think that our heart disease rate would still be higher because we have to do, like, for example, me, like I have heart disease and I'm not overweight, but I think that we just have to do, or we do so much more exercise here to maintain that healthy lifestyle because we grow up being used to consuming so much more than the rest of the world. So if we can stop ourselves from doing that, we'll be healthier and happier humans, I think.
Yeah. No, it's really so true. It's funny that you said that, Amanda, because I was just talking to my hairstylist about this today whenever I was getting a blowout. And she was saying, like, in America, we run our bodies down so much faster because that is exactly what we're raised to do. We're raised to overeat and then work yourself to the bone, spend hours and hours to the gym, run like crazy amounts of miles every single day. There's nothing wrong with running. Amanda's a runner and like she loves running, but it's like, it's all the intention behind it. Like, it's totally fine if like running is therapeutic for you and you've got your nutrition down pat and you're running, like, you know, to control your stress levels and stuff, and it makes you feel great. But like eating 3 times the amount of food you're supposed to eat in a day and then being like, oh, let me go run 5 miles to run this off. Like, that's such backwards thinking. I have a friend that's a personal trainer and he's always posting about how people ask him, like, how did you get that fit? Like, what did you do to get those results? And he's like, it all started in the kitchen. He's like, this is the result of great nutrition. He's like, working out only enhances my nutrition. I know Devin's on here and she's a personal trainer and I feel like she'll back this up. But you got to get like the nutrition side down pat first. Like, working out is great, but if you're abusing your body with food, then working out's only ever going to get you so far. And so I think that it's just so empowering to like get yourself in a good routine, be able to confidently coach your customers about this. And then you're not going to feel like you have to work yourself to the bone, you know, to get it all off. For me, like I literally walk every single morning. I walk 2 miles every single morning. And that for me is like such a therapeutic thing. I listen to an audiobook. I'm, you know, getting a tan out here in the Florida sun, breathing in the fresh air. Like it's all around a very good thing for me, but it is exercise as well too. But it doesn't even feel like exercise. Like I don't hate it. There's nothing I dread about it. I actually really look forward to it. And then every night before bed, I plank a minute in the middle, a minute on the sides, and I do like 20 push-ups. Easy peasy. And that's such an easy routine to adapt. And it's something that will still give you the results you're wanting if you're eating really great. And granted, I know my exercise routine is very, very elementary. So there's people on here that are way more fit than me and have better things that they do. But I'm sharing that with you guys to say, I'm at a place in my life where I'm happy with my body and I can do these like exercising things that, you know, do get me where I want to go or keep me where I'm at or whatever you want to call it. But it's because of the eating routine. It's because of the nutrition, and it's because having that appropriate caloric intake for my weight, for my size, for all of that. So I feel like we had a couple things we were going to share. Oh, one thing I did want to just touch on before we kind of wrap up. So Amanda said how I had mentioned sweet potatoes. What I wanted to say, kind of tacking on to this, is if you're someone that you can barely stomach celery, like it's okay, guys, drop a 1 in the comments if that's you. Like if you're, okay, Catherine, can you get us started off? Catherine totally doesn't mind, but I'm shouting her out. Catherine can be a baby about celery, you guys. I have to empower her like every time we text. I'm like, Catherine, just plug your nose and drink it cold. So if that's you find yourself being a little bit of a baby about celery. It's just like, maybe you don't drink it hardly at all and it's all in your head and you're like, I just can't. And so if that's you, go ahead and drop a 1 so everyone knows you're not alone. So I'm kind of talking to maybe some of you, maybe you're just kind of an anomaly with celery, but you're good with everything else. So this isn't a blanketed statement. But if you're that type of person that healthier choices can feel harder for you. You see someone else doing it and you're like, that's great that they're doing it, but I hate this. Like I cannot do this forever. Start with some really just simple things. So maybe the greens are really not our greens. Like guys, you have no excuse not to drink your chocolate greens. But like Amanda was talking about bok choy and different greens she likes to eat. Maybe you're not there yet. Maybe that just like the thought of it grosses you out. You're like, I can't even drink the celery. Like I don't know how I'm ever going to get where you guys are at. Start with just some things you can have. Like Amanda said, sweet potatoes, apples, like start with things that definitely I know aren't that bad, like you can eat that. And then before you know it, like your body will start craving more and more healthy things. And before you know it, you'll find yourself over here where you're wanting to be, where you're hearing other people talk about. One thing that I did with my dad when he and I were doing the detox diet in high school, and I actually was just talking to one of my friends in the business about this today, who was asking me some tips. She's on a weight loss routine that she's jump starting, and I was sharing this with her because I'm like, I think this would be really good for you. So we did like the original detox diet. It was super big in like the early, I don't know, I was 16, so early 2000s. Doctors were pushing it for health reasons. It was 21 days, and all it was for the first 10 days, you had nothing but fruits and veggies. That's it. And then from day 11 through 21, you introduced fish. You could have like 2 serving sizes and like an actual serving size of salmon. That had to be like organic salmon. You had to go to like, you know, get the kind from Whole Foods, Central Market, all that stuff. So by the time you got to day 11 and you could have salmon, you were golden because you'd already got through the hard part, which was the fruits and veggies. And I was sharing with her like the first 4 days are the hardest because you're not having any carbs hardly. You think you're going to die. But then by like day 4, you're fine. Like it's like you start feeling really great. But what I told her, what made it the easiest for us is when we felt really hungry and we're like, oh my gosh, we need more food. We would just eat sweet potatoes. We would cut up sweet potatoes and like saute them and some like sea salt and grass-fed unsalted butter, and then or olive oil, and we would just eat that, and we actually felt kind of full. So if you're someone that you're like, all right, I want to start making healthy choices, but I can be a baby about some stuff, like where do I start? I think sweet potatoes are great, and Amanda said that, but I kind of wanted to explain why I said that. Also like having like some apples with peanut butter for a snack or almond butter, like that can be great. Just remember not to overeat, especially if you're having the peanut butter or almond butter, because the like nuts are really good for you, but they are high in fat. And so you can easily overeat them. But just like be solution minded, go into it saying like, I will make this work. I'm going to find some things I can enjoy. And what's going to happen is like, over time, you will start craving the healthy things that you never used to cross your mind. Like you didn't even think about, definitely you weren't craving, you didn't want. you'll actually start craving that. And like that, Amanda was just sharing that with me earlier, like she really looks forward to bok choy and things like that. But it's because over time she's like been eating that for so long that, or eating that type of thing for so long that now she does want things like that. So I just want to empower you. Like if you're not there yet, you can get there. You just got to start at start. Just pick something that you can have that can be your go-to. If you have a plan, you'll be able to push through. But if you don't have a plan, you're going to easily cave and give up and be like, I can't do this. It's too hard for me. But if you set yourself up for success, it's going to be so much easier for you. Amanda, do you have anything you want to add on? Okay. The last thing I kind of just wanted to say is really just understanding the concept of like sacrifices and trade-offs. Like if you, I kind of shared this tonight. I mean, I kind of shared this about my routine tonight about having my like little evolved dinner that was 330 calories, but then going out for froyo with my kids. If sweet tooth is your biggest weakness, like you really do like sweets, then make sure you're really diligent with everything else and you're not overeating at any point throughout the day. So if you do have something sweet, you don't have to feel bad about it because you haven't been overeating all day. If just like having a date night a couple nights a week and not having to think about food at all, or not having to think about like limits at all is your weakness, then eat really, really well when you're home and make sure your portion sizes are so on point to where you can go out on your date night and order what you normally order and then just take your fat fighters after. Like it's all about trade-offs. Like we can't have it all. If we eat horrible all day and we have our sweets, we're not intermittent fasting, we're not doing anything, we're hardly remembering our supplements, we're not going to be happy with our body. We're not going to be happy with our energy. It's not even just about like aesthetics, about how you look. It's like how you feel. So we have to like really like make some like hard boundaries for ourselves. Like I am definitely going to intermittent fast. I'm definitely going to stay with my water. I'm definitely going to make sure my portions are on point so I can enjoy my life for these occasions that are important to me. So I just wanted to share that mindset because I truly do believe being healthy is a mindset. When you, and I know Amanda's going to know exactly what I'm talking about because she loves this book, but your habits have to start at the identity level if you're going to actually make changes. They talk about this in the book Atomic Habits, which both of us, it's one of our favorite books. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. But he talks about where people fail with their habits, it's because they never actually changed it at the identity level. It was just like a superficial habit they tried to implement and it failed because they didn't actually see themselves as that way. And he said, if you see yourself as a healthy person, you will start making healthy choices. So what does that mean? That means you see yourself as someone who does not overeat. You see yourself as someone who is fit, who feels great, who has great energy. And you might not be anywhere near your ultimate goal right now. But if right now tonight, you're like, you know what, that is who I am. Like everything they said resonates with me. I am a healthy person. I do make great choices. I'm disciplined. I'm all these things. Then you're going to be able to wake up tomorrow and start making great choices because you've told yourself that's who you are. One thing he shared in the book that stuck with me, I'm wrapping up, I know we've gone over tonight, but I hope this is helpful for you guys. But one thing that he said that was really helpful for me is he said, it would be better that you did 2 push-ups every time you just thought about push-ups. You just dropped and did 2 push-ups. Then you do 50 push-ups for 1 week and never do them again. He's like, but that's where most people set themselves up for failure is they'll go really, really hard and they'll do something good for a little while, but then they stop. He's like, but like the person that does 2 push-ups every time they think of push-ups, like they just, push-ups come to their mind, they're like, let me drop and do 2 push-ups real quick, easy peasy, get back up, start working, whatever. He's like, that person sees himself as a fit person, the type of person who, when it's on their mind, they're going to drop and do a couple real quick. And that is the type of person who will have long-term results because doing that for the rest of your life is going to get you way further than 50 push-ups every night for 1 week and then never doing it again. And it's the same thing with food. It's the same thing with everything. So I just want to empower y'all to like start where you are, start making some good choices, just build on those choices. If you can just like start with a couple things this week and then you maybe make another tweak next week and another tweak the next week. By the end of 2020, you will be so happy where you're at. And each month that you're on your journey, you'll get more and more confident talking to other people about it because you're going to see how quickly the results have compounded for you. And you're going to see how simple it is. And you're going to be able to talk to your customers and help them in a whole new way and instill that confidence into them to where they're going to have even better results with our products than they would have because now they're like, they've got the whole package going on. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I love what Kayla said. She said, add that to your affirmations. Yeah, write something down every morning like I am strong, I am healthy, I am, fill in the blank, the third, I'm confident. Like I'm strong, I'm healthy, I'm confident. But yeah, I hope this is helpful for you guys. We love you guys so much. I just want to shout out to Amanda real quick, you guys. I would have never done that whiteboard for you guys. Like I would have just gone on here and winged it. I maybe would have thrown you guys out a couple things in my head, like what my calories were for my dinner tonight, but I would have never done that. And drop a 1 in the comments if you guys are thankful and appreciative. Y'all have got an uber green leader on the team who really cares to do the homework for you guys, because I'm telling you guys, like, this is stuff Amanda will do without being asked, because she cares, because she really, really values knowledge and wants everyone to have that in front of them. And that's not like, I mean, I'm sure she probably did it quicker than like I would have, because she's like a research pro, but that's not necessarily just like the quickest thing to do. Like, she took a lot of time putting that together, and she really, really wanted everyone to have like a clear understanding of what we were talking about tonight. So I just wanted you to know, Amanda, we appreciate that. I know everyone on here appreciates you doing those things that most people wouldn't take the time to do, including me. So, but we love you guys. I will get this recording uploaded soon. Share it with your teams. Take this knowledge, use it to serve your customers better, and let's rock out the rest of July. Bye, guys.